How did you as a parent watch your child's life fall apart? Lynn, my youngest daughter was always a bright light. The girl was always very happy. Like her bigger brother Joshua, she never complained about anything. Around her first year of high school, I began to notice a small change in the way she behaved. She dressed down less and put on more makeup. She would always get very angry with me and yell that it was her body and she could do what she wanted when I asked her about it. But every other kid does it. Mom was another great reason. It was really hard for me to watch as my beautiful, sweet little daughter tried to become what she thought was an adult woman. She always wore less clothes and put on makeup, but that didn't have to be what everyone else did. I told her she should be proud of who she wants to be. She wouldn't move, and I think parents should be less strict, so I just left her alone at the time. We were getting worse and worse together, which made me think it was just a phase. The debates turned into arguments, and the arguments turned into fights. As she did this, she would start to bring guys over. I didn't see all of them, but some of them looked twice her age. Then I lost it one day. One day I was looking for something I knew she had taken in her room while she was at school. Then I noticed a small white bag hidden behind the lamp while I was looking on the table. I went to college myself, so I knew exactly what that little bag thing meant. When we got home from school, I got into a big fight with her. She finally began to yell at me, and I did the same back. When I checked on her in the morning to see if she had gone to school, she wasn't there. Things got so bad, I called the cops right away because 2 suitcases from my closet were missing. What did my sweet Lynn do? I love her more than anyone else in the world, so run away from me. Brad and I looked in the whole neighborhood and drove around our small town for hours. The cops and I would both find nothing. 4 years after we hadn't talked, the mom of one of my daughter's friends sent me a scary Instagram post. It looked like a news story with a video of my daughter. I didn't know why she was in the news at first until I read the title. South side of town intimacy workers are in a rage. It made no sense to me. My kid couldn't have gone down that badly. The longer I looked at the clip, the more she seemed crazy from drugs. Right away, tears started to fall from my eyes. There was almost nothing I could do about the fact that I was sitting in my bedroom and watching my daughter's life get out of hand. There was a film from Los Angeles, but I lived in a small town in Texas. I thought it was only fair that I go look for my daughter after dealing with this news for a few days. At times like this, I knew my kid needed me. I quickly found the next trip to Los Angeles and arrived there in less than 2 days. I spent the next few weeks searching all over the south side of town in my rental car, just like the news story said I should. I would pick a street and drive all the way down it until it seemed to end. Then I would go up 1 block and do it again. I knew it was unlikely that I would see her, but I had no choice. Since I knew the cops wouldn't help at that point, I didn't bother calling them. The miracle took place one day. I was driving through a lonely, rundown neighborhood when I saw clear features that reminded me of my daughter. I rolled down my window and yelled her name as I got closer, Lynn. Right away, she turned around and there she was, my sweet little girl. I ran to her after getting out of my car. It caught me off guard when she ran to me. Mom? Mom? We gave each other a hug we had never given before. We were both crying, and it was a moment I will never forget. She cried and hugged me for about 10 minutes before getting in my car. I took her to get food, sit down, and talk. I could tell she was hurt because she still looked like she was high. I thought that while we were eating, we would be able to catch up on things and talk about how things were going. She just sat there with a blank expression on her face the whole time. It scared me a lot. I wasn't sure if it was the drugs talking. I got her to talk a bit near the end of dinner, but as soon as we were done, I got in my car and waited for her to follow. She didn't. She did nothing but stare at me. This is what I asked her to do. Didn't she want to start over with me again? She walked up to me and said something that will bother me for a long time. They will find me and hurt me if I come. That's where the line was drawn. I knew I had to call the cops at this point. It was important to me that she come with me, but she said they were already watching and had warned her while we were eating. While I called the cops, I told her to stay put. While the phone was ringing, I saw that she looked off into the distance at something and then quickly turned back to me. She gave me one last hug and told me, "I love you, Mom." After that, she ran. I could never run as fast as she did. I tried to catch up, but she was faster than me. I finally got in the car and tried to find her, but it didn't work. It looked like someone picked her up out of the blue, and I lost my baby in an instant. As I desperately told the cops what had happened, they said they would look into it. I feel the worst I've ever felt in my life now that it's been a couple of months. I drink away my sadness, and when I wake up, I have the worst hangovers. I've tried to kill myself more than once, and my son has suggested that I see a therapist or even go to a mental hospital. The fact that he said that made my depression worse, and I'm now dying of sadness. My daughter is in trouble now, and I wasn't even able to keep her safe when she was in my arms. There are times when I feel like I failed as a mother, a guardian, and a person. I fell into a deep depression when I saw how my daughter's life was getting bad. I hope to see her again one day, but I thought that was my last chance. It breaks my heart to think that I might never see that beautiful face again.